Wow, okay, they changed everything on Zoom. I haven't been on here in a while. All right. All right. Well, I already know who you are. I already know your name, but can you give me your name and spell it out for me?
I am a meat popsicle, and I represent Candyland. No, Christian Manuel, State Representative Christian Manuel, Texas House District 22, and it's Christin, and then Manuel.
All right. So let's just start off. You just told me you were here when it happened. What was it like for you? Tell us your story.
Really, I was at home, and my mother called me because she lives on the west side of Port Arthur, and so it was kind of a shock. And I was like, "Wait, what?" And then, of course, everybody saw the plume of smoke, and then it was just immediately, okay, we need to get answers. Um, a lot of people sometimes think state reps or congressional members can do everything, but we have different branches of government, and that was really an emergency management, a county issued emergency response. And so the one thing that I knew that I could do instantly was let me get with the agencies. I know the instant people kind of calm down, they're going to want to know and understand, what was being burned, what's in the air, what have I been breathing, what are we going to do with regulation? What are we, all these different things. And so that was really, really where my mindset was to do my job. And my job was on a state level to reach out to agencies and see what was actually happening from that point of view.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I want to talk a little bit about the Stan alerts. I don't know if you've
Mhm.
talked with any residents about it. I know it is a
I've
service you
heard
have.
from a few, yes.
Yeah, so I know it is a service that you do have to register for. But
Mhm.
today I went back to look. I am registered for it. I mean, in the moment, it was so crazy that like I was getting
Right,
information everywhere. But for residents who use Stan alerts, they only received two. One
right,
an hour later after the
right.
explosion that just said a shelter in place. The next alert they received was at 5:30 on Tuesday morning saying that the shelter in place was lifted and the roads
Right.
were open. What goes through your mind when you hear that residents only got two alerts on something that, I mean, I would consider pretty serious business going on?
Yeah. Um, I will say I don't want to disparage anybody else. What I will say is I know that what we consistently heard was people were frightened, and it added to them being more frightened that they didn't have much more information, especially coming in from an emergency line that is supposed to keep us all updated. I think that the county judge and the county commissioners and the emergency management are going to better be able to help with that. Who knows? I don't know if it was a line issue that happened. I'm not sure if it was just a delay in a response. But either which way, it's something that we should be asking. We should be trying to see what we can do to address it because it's really important for people to not be scared where they live, especially when we have so many industries around us. And especially when we've gotten stand alerts that have been much more consistent and they've had much more information. And I don't want to put fear in people's heart of another branch of government when I'm not sure what the reason behind it was. But for me, what was really important was to make sure that with the limited capacity that I could, that I was able to get information to people. And I hope that helped. It seemed like it did. But of course, with just like anyone, every area of government, every elected official can always uh, be informed of areas where they're not being that efficient, and we can always do better. It's just part of human. We all make mistakes. Sometimes things go a little awry, and someone will say, "Hey, do this and that." And I think we're fortunate and very blessed that nothing much more serious happened as far as in loss of life or loss of the city. But this is a good example of, hey, we need to make sure that these areas are together. And I think that's a very fair assessment and something that we should all be asking to make sure, because we all have to live here and we all want to live at the best quality of life that we possibly humanly can.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know it's a partnership too with local agencies. And I know like
Yeah.
they had their hands wrapped up and they were busy. So
hmm
I know it was probably tough for them to get information out. But do you know how the stand alerts operate at all? I don't know if you.
The basic part of it, what I know is, that when there's an emergency, once they get the information, they relay that information to people within the area so that they know where to go, where not to go, if they need to evacuate, if they need to leave. And it's been very beneficial, and it's been a safeguard for people when it's come to hurricanes, when it's come to tornado warnings, and when it's come to gas leaks on certain parts of the road that we actually had a few weeks back. And it is a safety measure that really gives people a peace of mind. And I think it's very important. And we need to do everything that we can to make sure that people have those notifications. And that might be, making sure that there's more money, making sure that when people register phone numbers with our area code, that they're automatically applied. But a lot of that, again, is going to be on where the county is going to come in. And I know that it really is a lifeline for a lot of people. And I understand why people were upset by not getting enough responses on that. And I would really defer to the county to go from there.
Gotcha, I gotcha. Well, what do you think people should know? I mean, this is something that happened, I mean, in
Mhm.
your backyard too.
Yeah.
What do you think people should know about, I mean, everything going on? It's been a week now. What do you think people should know?
One is that we're consistently working with TCEQ to find out what was in the air. We're also looking to see what was missing from the refinery, to see what was burned off compared to what they were saying is in the air. We're also working and talking to environmental activists to make sure that their concerns and what they're talking about is brought to the forefront and make sure that it's answered. I know that there are also legal avenues that some people are taking, and right now, we're just trying to make sure we're getting a full, comprehensive view of everything that happened, as well as for safety precautions for what these refineries need to have, especially in an area like ours that is an energy corridor. So we're looking at everything, um, but I would rather give out limited information of what I know to be true than to just give out any information and then have people bothered. And then also, I don't think people would be very happy with me if I said, "Oh, this is it, this is this," and case closed within a week. I don't think that's fair. We need to give this much more time to make sure that we're finding out exactly what was burned, exactly what happened, so that we can make sure that this doesn't happen again. Because when this happened in Port Neches, this went on for months. This actually went on for longer than months. And I think this deserves just as much cause to make sure that we're doing the right thing.
Yeah, for sure. And I know that kind of segues into, I know you talked a lot about transparency, and I know you
Mhm.
answered this a little bit earlier, but what does it mean for you being so active on social media and making sure that, I mean, your constituents actually know what's going on? And I mean, this is a community that you're
Mhm.
from. Why is it important for you to, I mean, have this community know what's actually going on after this?
Transparency is vital to me for anyone that's running for office, anyone that is in office. People deserve and they have a right to the information of what their government is doing. And at a time when we know that there is such a low in trust within politicians, within people who are elected, who are running, even running for office, I think it is our duty to make sure that we put the trust back into government, that people can feel comfortable with their elected officials. And so I personally hate social media, but I know that it is an avenue that people are consistently on. And so that is a base that I use to make sure that that information gets out, because I think it is so vitally important that people have transparency in the people that work for them, because it is their tax dollars that allow us to be here. It is their trust, it is their faith in us that allow us to be able to fight for them. And if they can't trust us, then it defeats the entire purpose of us being elected.
Yeah, for sure. And just kind of moving forward, what would you like to see done? Or, I mean, what should people just know, like moving forward after this?
For me, moving forward is finding out exactly what went wrong, finding out exactly what was in the air, and also seeing what exactly went wrong at the refinery plant, and seeing what is it that we can do to help them to make sure that our constituents feel safe, that they're breathing fresh air, that they're drinking fresh water. I know some people will say, well, we've been screaming for this, but it's very important to find out the full scope of everything and then to look at that and see how we move forward how we protect people, how we make them feel better about where they live. And that's really what is next. That's what's important to me is not just coming up with what Christian thinks, because Christian can think anything, but the facts are the facts. And so I just want to push forward with that and do everything we can to protect the people that we live with.
All right. Was there any meetings or events coming up that you know of? I know that there were quite a bit of town halls towards the end of last week, um,
Yes.
with
And
some
I
law
think there'll be
firms.
more. Sorry.
Mhm.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry. I cut you
Oh
off. I
no, I was
apologize.
just wanting to know like if there's any events or any sort of thing that we should be aware that's coming up that might help people in the community over there or
As of right now, from us from the state, I'm not right now, no, because we're still working with emergency management to see Texas Department of Emergency Management to see what else we're getting, working with TCEQ. We're going to be requesting to see about having TCEQ come and give us briefings to explain what was actually happening. So we're, again, trying to get as much information to make sure that we're getting out everything correct to people. And then at least if they have more questions, then they have more questions. If we have to dive into it a little bit more, we dive into it a little bit more. But I think a rushed answer is going to, it would, as someone who lives here, it would extremely upset me if someone gave me an answer to something like that in an instant. Because it's a refinery, it has so many more implications than just jobs and just livelihood. There's a whole lot else that's at stake, and we want to just make sure we get everything factual to everybody.
absolutely. Well, I think that's all my questions that I have for you, but is there anything else that you would like to add, mention, maybe something I didn't ask?
If people have any other questions or concerns about what we found with TCEQ and what we're looking up, to please call our office. If we can't answer those questions, we will make sure that we give you to the right authority, if it's the county, if it's the city, wherever it is from there. But we will do everything that we can to make sure that we are getting you answers. And if you have concerns, please don't feel scared. Call the office and we'll do everything that we can to try to get you as many answers as quick as possible as we can.
Great, great. Well, I think that's everything. So I'm gonna stop recording real quick.
Okay.